what I know is that I was studying for my A-levels in Grenada, and my A-level subjects were history, Latin, and geography. And in those days, our Cambridge exams took place in December, not in the middle of the year as now. So 3 months before my exams, my final exams in history, Latin, and geography, Hurricane Janet struck Grenada and caused significant devastation, loss of 126 lives. And our school, Presentation Brothers College in Grenada, itself was badly damaged, and the school could not reopen for a few weeks. During that period, the director of public works, a person called Dick Ray, he took me around in his car, looking at, as he went around, looking at damaged facilities, mainly bridges, all around Grenada. I suspect that this is why I went into engineering. Because when I finished my A-levels, and I repeat, history, Latin, and geography, my father asked me, well, what next? And I said, well, I'm going back to school because I want to do engineering, so I have to do mathematics and physics. So I did a third year in Form 6, doing mathematics and physics. So Hurricane Janet was the cause. Well, my earliest experience after I graduated was looking for work. I spent 3 months unemployed, bumming off of my mother, who at that time was a civil servant with the federal government in Trinidad. My scholarship to university required me to return to Grenada to work for 3 years with the government of Grenada. I returned to Grenada immediately. And after spending a week waiting for my call from the government, I got a request to meet informally with the assistant administrator, who was at that time the number 2 person, who said to me, and I remember the words well, "Tony, we would like you to leave Grenada. Your presence here is embarrassing us. We have no work for you." So my first job, fast forwarding 3 months, was at the University of the West Indies campus, St. Augustine, working for the consultants who were designing the buildings for the then fledgling faculty of engineering. My career has had a process of narrowing. I started off as a civil engineer. I suppose I'm still a civil engineer. But then I specialized in structural engineering within the broad field of civil engineering. And I would think it was round about the end of the 1970s that my focus in structural engineering narrowed even more to deal with earthquakes and wind forces on structures. Now, in my later years, I'm narrowing it even further to deal with wind forces and structures and earthquakes for healthcare facilities. So almost all of my work now has to do with the healthcare sector. You know, hospitals, or referral hospitals, as they call them, tertiary level hospitals, are arguably the most important buildings in a community. Why? They are fully occupied 24 hours a day, every day of the year, which distinguishes them from schools, for example. Secondly, they are incredibly expensive investments for any community. Probably the most expensive buildings per square meter in a building is a referral hospital. Thirdly, they're critically required the second an earthquake stops shaking. The efficiency of operations required of a referral hospital is greatest immediately after a major hurricane or earthquake. That poses a significant burden on the people who are designing, building, and maintaining referral hospitals. Most other buildings are allowed to be damaged by a major earthquake. If a school is damaged by a major earthquake, provided no children die, no students die, that's a success. The school can close, like my school in Grenada in 1955, for a few weeks and allowed to recover. A referral hospital cannot close because immediately after the earthquake, the demands on it are even greater than immediately before the earthquake. So it has to operate at 100% efficiency immediately after the event. My most significant achievement, I suppose, is encapsulated by the recognition I've had from certain bodies late in my career, starting, I would say, in the beginning of the 1990s, when I had awards from several bodies. The first being the United States of America National Organization for Hurricanes, and I did a lot of work in hurricane protection. And then I had awards from the Barbados Association of Professional Engineers, in 1998 from the Association of Professional Engineers of Trinidad and Tobago, more recently in 2003 I think it was, from the Institution of Structural Engineers in London. I got the Lewis Kent Award, and from Nehurst in Trinidad, the National Institute of Higher Education, Science and Technology, who designated me one of the Caribbean icons of science and technology in the region. Most recently, I was thrilled to be given an award of honorary member of the Trinidad and Tobago Institute of Architects. I'm not an architect, and I was thrilled that my work with architects was sufficiently recognized and understood that they made me an honorary member of the TTIA. My involvement in the Council of Caribbean Engineering Organizations started at the beginning of the CCEO. In 1969 was the first meetings were held at Cave Hill in Barbados, and the feature address was given by Willie Damas of Trinidad and Tobago. And so I was involved in a very intimate way with the development of CCEO from then until, I would say, 1990, from 1969 until 1990, for 21 years. And then I did very little with the CCEO from 1990 until 2005. We had a very bad period in the CCEO immediately following the 1990 meeting in the Bahamas. For the following 6 years, the then Secretary General did absolutely nothing. He did not write a single letter, did not spend a single cent for 6 years. Now, the CCEO is a coordinating body. Unfortunately, it only has one officer, the Secretary General. The Constitution only recognizes one person, the Secretary General. There's no treasurer, there's no secretary, there's nobody else, not even an assistant Secretary General. That needs to change. But one of his roles as a coordinating body is to deal with technical standards regionally. Another one has to deal with educational standards regionally. And these two things are tied together. Education comes before the technical standards, of course. And I can say only in an ad hoc manner the CCEO has been dealing with these issues over the years of its existence, which is 31 plus 12, that's 43 years. 43 years. And I will demit office from the as Secretary General in the very foreseeable future. But I need to put in place a new constitution. We tried that, but the constitution also says that you can't do anything unless you have a quorum. And a quorum is defined as 6 of the member bodies, half of the member bodies, they're 12 in all, must attend for any business to be conducted. And the last time I attempted to have a meeting, the only people who turned up were Guyana, Trinidad APETT from Trinidad and Tobago, GAPE from Guyana, a former Secretary General of CCEO, Dr. Myron Chin, along with the APETT president at the time, and Barbados did not turn up, Jamaica did not turn up, and no one else turned up. We discussed things, but we could decide nothing. So the real challenge is to get a quorum so we can change the constitution.